I've lived in San Francisco, I lived in New York City, and of course now Paris. And out of all of the places that I've lived in, Paris has been the hardest to find an apartment. I mean, I went to apartment visits where there was a line out the door of at least 20 people waiting in line to see the apartment. Hi, welcome to my apartment in Paris. I'm Tiffanie Davis, I'm 31 years old, and I live in a one-bedroom apartment in Paris, France. I pay 1,100 euros per month in rent, which is approximately $1,300. So I went with a budget of around 1,100 euros when I was looking for an apartment, because I also wanted to make sure I had a good amount of money set aside to really explore Paris, see the city, go out to restaurants, museums, and what have you. But as a rule of thumb, I try not to go over maybe a third of my monthly income on what I'm paying in rent. Paris is divided into 20 arrondissements, which are basically 20 different districts. The center of Paris tends to be the most expensive. That's where you have the 1st through 8th arrondissements. And as you get towards the outskirts of Paris, like the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, it tends to be a bit more affordable. And I live in the 18th arrondissement, the 18th, which is in the north. So I would say this area of Paris is a lot more like artsy, cool. To me, it's such a vibe. It's super diverse here as well, which is why I love this area. I'm also steps away from Sacré-Cœur, which is a beautiful Roman Catholic church that's perfect for sightseeing. On a really nice day, I love to either sit on a terrace or go to a bakery, get a few pastries, take a walk around. There's also a really nice park nearby that I love to sit at. There's so much to do in this area. Hey everyone, I'm Tiff. Welcome back to my channel. I'm an American living in Paris. I'm originally from Wilmington, Massachusetts, which is a small suburb right outside of Boston. I went to college at Howard University in Washington, D.C., then moved to San Francisco to work in fashion, then moved to New York to work in public relations, and then made my way to Paris. I definitely think that there are more people looking for an apartment in the city than there are apartments here. So for me, it was looking on all of the websites every single day around the clock. And I came across this one platform called L'Oreal, where you could actually set up apartment alerts. So, you know, your min and max budget, how many bedrooms and whatnot. So I knew that I wanted my apartment to be very spacious, a proper one bedroom with everything, like the full American kitchen. At the time that I was looking, I'd been looking for 3 to 4 months. I was staying at a friend of a friend's place, and this apartment came up and I just hopped on it because I needed a place to live. Also had to have a guarantor. They typically want you to have a French guarantor, but I was able to get around that. So I do have a US-based guarantor. I live on a 5th floor walk-up, so there was no way I was lugging everything up 5 flights of stairs. The couch, the bed, everything came with the apartment, so I didn't have to, go out and buy a bunch of stuff, which was perfect for me. So the upfront costs that I had to pay to move into this apartment were first an agency fee that was $1,300 and non-refundable. Also a security deposit, which was $1,300, and then first month's rent as well, which was $1,300. So altogether that came to $3,900. I had a general understanding of how much it would probably cost to move into an apartment in Paris, so definitely made sure to save up those upfront costs so that it wouldn't be a burden once I actually wanted to move into a place. I live in a 5th floor walk-up, no elevator, and it's a typical Parisian staircase. It's very windy with wooden floors. So when you first walk in, there's this little hallway area here where you can see I have some of my shoes. There's also a full-length mirror, which I was so excited about. I also love that there's storage up top too, where I just have a bunch of old coats and whatnot. There's this door on the right, which is the toilet room. So in Paris, in the apartments, usually the toilet is separated from the shower room. So now moving on to the kitchen. So I have to say, they sold me on this kitchen. First, I love the tile. It's super cute with this kind of little flower tile print. I love that I have a pretty good sized fridge for Paris. In a lot of the other apartments that I was looking at for this price range, the refrigerator was half the size. So I was really excited to have a nice sized fridge. And another thing that I love about the kitchen is the view. So nice, I love this. So everything basically came with the apartment, utensils as well, which was great. And you'll see a few of my crystals here. So guys, I'm literally obsessed with crystals. I have them all throughout my apartment. And now onto the living room, which is the star of this apartment. This is where I spend most of my time. I love the space. I love the molding on the walls, the big French windows. I love that this space gets a lot of natural light. I also have a fireplace in both the living room and in the bedroom, which I was really excited about in terms of decor, but you actually can't turn the fireplaces on. I think it's actually illegal to turn them on in your apartment in Paris. I also have a really nice balcony that wraps around the living room and the bedroom. So nice out here, especially in the summertime. I love to sit here, have a matcha latte, which are my favorite, journal for a bit. This balcony was definitely the selling point for me for this apartment. Now on to the bedroom. So this is my bedroom. I love that it also has a lot of storage. Even though it might not seem like much, I promise it's really good for Paris. I love my crystals. I also have a little vision board. Every year I love to kind of visualize what I want the year to be like. And there's also a little desk here, although I barely ever work here in my bedroom. I'm usually working in the living room. And then the second half of the bathroom is here, so the shower room. I also have a washer machine, so just a washer, no dryer. It's common for apartments in Paris to only have a washer and no dryer, so I hang dry all of my clothes. One thing I miss about living in the United States is having a dryer to dry my clothes. So I have to say, I do love my apartment in Paris. I think it's a great space, especially for this price, and I'm so glad that I found it. I never imagined that I'd be living in Paris for this long, but I think I just fell in love with the city. I've made so many great friends here. I also love the way of life here. I would definitely say since living in Paris, my mentality has changed a bit. I'm definitely a lot more relaxed and definitely take my time to do things, whereas when I was living in New York, it was all about hustle, go, 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 go. It's been amazing to call Paris home for the last few years. I'm not yet sure where I'd go next. Paris is definitely home for now, but I have been considering other places, so let's see what the future holds.